Hi guys, I'm back, and it's been a busy month, and thanks for all your support. Thanks for all the new members, and we really appreciate you members that have stuck by with John and I through all the travel and equipment and growth. And a lot of you don't know, but I have a business other than Starship BocaChica that I'm trying to dissolve, and it's taken a lot of time. And we had the gallery event, which was awesome. If you follow me on BocaChica Maria #1 for First Neighbor on Twitter, you'll see some of the gallery stuff, and there's also some stuff on Facebook. But here we are, and we're back on the east side looking into the vehicle assemblage building, partial view of it, and you can kind of see into the mid bay a little bit. We'll scoot around to the north side and try to get into that. And it's not too windy, just enough to kind of keep the mosquitoes off, but not all of them. And it's hotter than Hades out here. So the upgrades, the land grabbing, the road building, the utilities, the ditching, it's all going on around me. The vendors are thick as thieves out here. And the cranes are moving everywhere, so we'll get a lot to see out here. And like I said, I appreciate all your support. We're a small little group that enjoys doing what we're doing, and if you like that ambient wind noise, you're going to get a lot of it today. I got a still picture of this tank from the front side of the production shipyard. The front side would be the south side, and I'm over here on the east side shooting back behind. So they've staked out the boundaries of development on the north side back here on Remedios Sloop Road, and that's at the end of San Martin Trail. There's still a lot of private properties back here that haven't been sold. I've talked to a few of the property owners, and this stake says 10-foot wetland buffer. Well, they're still battling the water, and they've figured out that they need drainage ditches that lead to the hypersaline bay called Back Bay. And that hypersaline bay is going to be digesting now a tonnage amount of water that hasn't been calculated or have a response to. I know there has to be a comments period, but I'm not sure if it falls under the EA statement or the EIS, the new EIS. And here you're looking north towards Port Isabel, kind of northwest. It's kind of like the old scrapyard area, but now it's more storage. And there's the SN16 from the east side, and the test cell skeleton. Okay, straight ahead to the right is San Martin. Some Google Maps have San Martin as Weems. I'm standing on the San Martin Trail as it used to be, especially for the ancestral use. And then in front of the Bambi trailer campers is Weems, the extension of Weems that they've beautified with some established palm trees that should survive the next freeze in 10 years. And then I'm going to swing and pan to the right because they've had a drainage problem clearing out this new land they've acquired. And this is the Resaca area back here. It's out of sight. But when you're on the backyards of our old neighbors on Weems, on the north side of Weems, when you're standing in their backyard, you can see how they've ran the utility road and turned it into a canal, and then they've ditched that and drained it into this area that I'm pointing at, and it's like a little Resaca back there, but you can't see it from here, but you can see it from the backyards on north side of Weems. Well, if any of you have to be told what I'm pointing at here, then you haven't been following me. This is the old homestead. It's now a parking lot. We have gotten some good feedback from SpaceX that we know, saying how useful our property has been and appreciated, and my husband's capabilities of building a commercial shop was highly desired for their stores. They can put some tonnage up there in that loft he built. So if you're going by on Highway 4, this is the last house on Highway 4, the last home on Highway 4 before you get to the beach. We were actually the last house in Texas on Highway 4, and we were the first neighbors to SpaceX, and they needed to acquire our property for expansion, and they literally enveloped it, and has just acquired a new property on the other side. A gentleman from Dallas, he's a cab driver. I'll go down and shoot that here in a second. So the expansion is going to be completely all around our house now, and they aren't watering any of the foliage, so that's suffocating in the dust. And if you are watching this, Elon, please have that trickle-down effect and preserve what your investment is. I wish he'd water my old plants, trees. The ones on the highway are just on their last leg, the davas. It's really hard to establish plant life out here, so if you have established plant life, it's critical that you preserve it because it assists in everything, in drainage, in wildlife, in insect benefication. Okay, you're looking at the side yard to our old place. This gentleman lived in Dallas. I met him once, talked to him a couple of times. He owned a cab company up there. He's probably passed away by now, or maybe his estate handled the sale to SpaceX. Ray and I tried to purchase this property a couple of times before we even knew about SpaceX back in 2010 to 2012. And this is the old utility lane that I'm standing on. I think it's named Thomas on the plat, Thomas Lane. It's not a public access at the corner of it. It's just for utility. Anyway, this is just a great piece of property. I hope they don't take the trees off of it because I've watched them grow since they were sprigs. And we lost all the Spanish daggers on this property in a freeze in, I think it was 2010, 2012, I can't remember. And they've grown back, so. And then there's some timbers over there that were ours that are being piled up. It's going to be an extended parking lot. It's not got a lot of infrastructure going on, and trees are real beneficial in a parking lot anyway. Feels nice and cool. I almost want to run into the water. It's 110 out here. Okay, I'm still standing here on San Martin, here at the utility lane behind our old house. And this is a small street, used to be a small street that a lot of people weren't aware of. It's called Esperson. And up there is where my office is, next to Andy Gooch's Nomad's old house. And he vacated last week. So now it's all owned by SpaceX except for my office space. And they flooded this out pretty bad for the last, I'd say, 5 years. The contractors and big pickup trucks would use it as a mud pit at first, and then we got them to stop doing that. And then it was just flooded out because they had breached the hard surface and turned it into a quagmire where it turned into a leach pond. And then they hired a contractor to build a road. And the contractor went, instead of doing what you do in Alaska and in quagmires where you add layers and press it in, he took off layers, and then we had that big storm a month ago. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many inches of rain, but everything that was pumped out of the ditches into the surrounding area all leached into what you're looking at right here, where that, just about where that pickup truck was, a little further on, all the way to the San Martin paved part. was a very deep leach pond, and they kept pumping it out and sending it across the way, across the road, and it would just leach back in. So they eventually had to drain it with, I think they pumped it out. I think they drilled and got it to leach further down. So now this is going to be a big wide 2-lane highway. Esperson. Just that water truck going by has cooled the air off. Well, this is a sorry state of affairs. This is the old garden oasis where the lime tree was. I don't see it from this side. I don't see much of anything from this side. I don't see the queen palm. A lot of it has died, or they've hacked down because it's littering the cars. But it's pretty dead and dusty, suffocating. Well, when your property is front and center, it's kind of hard to avoid photographing it, so get used to it, folks. I had to get used to it. It's right in the middle of everything, and that's why we got nicknamed First Neighbor. So this is BocaChica Maria, First Neighbor, bringing you the east side of the rocket production shipyard. looking into mid-bay. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a large population of nesting birds just off to my right, and a hawk is interfering in the dinner hour, and so there's a lot of parents squawking at the hawk off to my right. I got dive bombed, got a little too close, so I came forward a little bit.